Okay, we are live. Awesome, 3 people already in the house. Welcome, welcome, welcome. How's everything going? Riss is here. Welcome, Riss. See how many comments we get on this Catan thing in the background. Last time, a ton of people were like, "Oh, you play Catan?" I still haven't checked it out. I'm gonna have to read the box, see what kind of a game it is. But a lot of people are. Yeah, we already got someone commenting on it. I've got Tom G here, Rick Davochi, Swagic Wizard, I am steroids. That's interesting. I don't know how you can be steroids, but I hope you are doing well for a steroid. We got Yalitza, hey, welcome, welcome. India, Vegan Atheist, Mel Moriri, Jimmy Baker. Hey, how's it going, Jimmy? I promise I will not block you today. For those of you guys, this is a funny thing. One time, I instinctively mistook him for someone else by the name of Baker and completely blocked him off my live. Anyways, got tons of people joining. Welcome, everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So, you guys know the drill. If you want to ask any questions, leave a super chat. We're just going to have a little hangout session. I'm going to go to the gym in just under 1 hour. So, it's going to be a relatively short live, but we can talk about whatever you guys feel like talking about. Whatever Soiji. Oh man, this is turning out to be a really good live. By the way, did you guys notice on the Vegan Games live, I kept drinking the water after it was empty? Yeah, because I was wanted to go and fill it up, but I just didn't want to be impolite. So you guys will see when this gets empty and I start drinking off of an empty glass, it will be time to end this live. Anyways, let's see what we get up to today. Actually, I might as well share with you guys. I had a little bit of a funny thing when I came here. I'm in a city in Norway called Bergen. And when I got here, I actually drove all the way from Oslo. It's a 7-hour drive. And the whole trip went fine. You had to go through this huge national park. And I was just driving, little traffic, amazing trip. And then I get to Bergen and the motorway opens up. It's 2 big, beautiful lanes, no traffic. So, I start going a little bit faster because it's like perfect roads. And so, I was getting up to 110 kilometers per hour, up towards 120. And I thought, in Oslo, we have 110 and 120. I assumed the motorway here would be the same. All of a sudden, I see the lights going in the background. And crap. So pull over to a store. And they stopped me and they were like, yeah, do you know how fast you're going? I was like, yeah, maybe like 110, 120. Isn't that, roundabout what the speed limit is? And they're like, no, speed limit here is 80. And you were actually, the policeman said, you're 4 kilometers an hour away from having your license stripped away straight away. And I was like, ooh, okay, well, good thing you guys stopped me when you did because I thought it was 120. I was probably going to go to 120 if you didn't stop me when you did. So then they're like, yeah, well, we're going to have to give you a fine. I was like, yeah, my apologies. I should have looked at the rules. This is my first time actually driving here in Norway since coming from Spain. And so they go and they, check my license number, my license plate, all that kind of stuff. And they come back and they're like, okay, so here's the fine. And, actually, let me ask you guys, well, how much do you think that kind of a fine costs here in Norway? So it was stopped for speeding on the motorway. It was 80 kilometers per hour, which is really, really slow for a motorway. But here in Norway, a lot of places apparently don't go faster than 80. And I was going, the speed they caught me at was 112. So let me know. Okay, we got some people here, $30. That's Ice Poseidon. Pat Leos is 50 pounds. We got Sean's Almond Garden, 20 pounds. 500 euro. Okay, somebody's going big. Well, actually, the crazy thing, that's underestimating it. So it was 10,200 Norwegian crowns, which is actually around, I calculate, I think it's almost 1,100 US dollars. That was the first thing that happened to me when I got to the city. Was almost 1,100 US dollar fine, and then I was like, oh man, like, are you serious? In Spain, this would be like $40 or something. So yeah, over $1,000. as a fine. So I was like, oh, any chance we can have like do something? It's my first time. They're like, so Norway, we don't have any exceptions. So I was like, okay, whatever. I'll just have to work on my YouTube and Patreon extra hard over the next few months. So then I get home, or I was actually going to stay with a friend here in Bergen, and I didn't have the parking here in the city. There's no spaces to park in or even around the city for free. But I was 1 a.m. in the middle of the night. And I thought, I'm so tired. I'm just gonna park the car, go to sleep, and then figure it out tomorrow. So I go to sleep, and then I wake up the next day, and I go to my car, and there's small, in comparison, a small $80 fine. So it goes from 1,100 to another $80 fine next day. So I was like, oh man, like I'm just really not lucky to like this time I'm coming back. And then funny thing, next day I'm going to move to this apartment where I'm staying now, and I take the car, I start driving. First hill I go, I feel the car shaking a little bit, and then I see people who I'm driving by. The people are just like staring at the car as they walk past, and I was like, what's going on here? So I open the door as I'm driving slowly down. I look back, and the tire is completely flat. There's zero air. It's just completely, just flat against the road. And I was like, oh, are you serious? Like, what? This has never ever happened. Like, I'm usually a very very lucky person. Things just go well, but I had 3 days in a row where it's just like everything that could happen would happen. So I just stopped the car first thing, and then I had to call the road help, and they'd have to come and they plugged the tire, and then I had to shift the tires the next day. It's a big mess, but it's really really funny how sometimes it's just day after day, like the most unlucky streak happens. And I think it's the first time it's ever happened that clearly to me, but it didn't really affect me much, because I thought, what, after 3 days in a row of terrible luck, it must mean my luck is my luck is coming back around now. So now no more accidents. I've been lucky so far. No more bad things. So we'll see. I think my luck has come back around. But anyway, just want to share that story. It's just important that even when things like this happen, even when it seems like everything is just going downhill, everything is just unlucky, just it's might seem like you're just unluckier than most, but it can happen to everyone. It's there's cycles. Sometimes you're unlucky, sometimes you're lucky. You just have to take it as it comes. Can't fight what's already happened, and the fortunes will change with time. Anyways, little story for you guys. Okay, let's see if we got some chats in the live here. We got Peter Simon. How are you doing, Dr. Leo Venus? Be strong and do well. I am doing great. I am actually enjoying it. The heat is almost 30 degrees here in Norway, which is crazy, but I appreciate it. I hope you're doing well as well, Simon. Let's see. Got Jespi. Have you ever been to Finland? Yes, I have. I've been to Suomi. Yeah, I know how to say some random stuff like tikat, mehiläinen, hyvää vettä. Yeah, that's about it. Rengas, I think, is like car tires, which would have been good when I had my car tire accident the other day. Let me know, what countries do we have in the chat? Let me see where you guys are from. We got Finland. Where else do we have? Let's see. Do you like sweet potato? Yes, I do. Easy question. Right here, they're coming in now. We got London, Spain, USA, Canada, Thailand, Japan, England, Portugal. Awesome. Got lots of people. North America, that's not a country. Why are you saying you're from North America? Are you like from both Canada, US, and Mexico? All right, got more US, got Melbourne, USA, Florida, USA, Slovenia. Cool. Venezuela, Croatia, Texas. I used to live in Dallas, actually Allen, Texas, close to Plano, if you know where that is. We got Ireland, Romania, the land of Dracula, Puerto Rico, England. Awesome. Colombia, man, this is an international crowd. Welcome, everyone. Okay. Oh, we got Vegan Atheist asking a pretty relevant question. Are you mad at Richard? No, I'm not mad at Richard. I have absolutely nothing against him. I would have liked if our conversation could have been a little bit more pleasant. But no, I'm not. I'm not really mad at anyone. I think I was a very angry child, and now I've kind of I've gone into a very calm and very meditative Zen-like soy boy now. I have a hard time getting angry at people, so no hard feelings with vegan gains, not at all. Okay, we got Ann King. I worry if this clown is a doctor. I am actually a doctor. I am not a clown though. I've never worked as a clown. I do appreciate the sentiment though. That means clowns are pretty funny, so I'll take that as a compliment. But yes, I do have a medical degree from the Royal College of Surgeons in Ireland. It's a national university in Ireland. It's basically where all the surgeons have to go through in Ireland. And yeah, I am indeed a medical doctor. Appreciate your less than less than polite comment. It's good to have some fun with the trolls, huh? You guys enjoy the trolls? Sometimes the trolls can be the funniest. Anyways, I'm skipping a lot of questions here, and like always, if you guys want to guarantee your question gets answered, leave a super chat and I'll make sure to answer your question. Okay, we got here. Do you practice the law of attraction? Law of attraction is there's a lot of things that are that there's a lot of truth behind the law of attraction, but obviously a lot of people take it as a gospel, and of course thinking things isn't going to magically make them appear, but there is a lot of psychological truth behind visualization, imagination, training your subconscious. Again, our mind is mostly a subconscious machine rather than a conscious logical, rational thinking brain. So if you can get control over your subconscious patterns and get those wheels turning in your favor, absolutely you can get a lot of the stuff that is associated with the law of attraction. So mastering your own psychology is something I recommend to everyone. And so learning about your psychology is very, very important. Actually, this is something I read about the other day. Someone on Instagram actually sent me recommended me check out a philosopher from the 18th century, so 1700s, from Edinburgh, Scotland, and he was called David Hume, apparently. Let's see if I can find you guys his quote, because basically it's talking about identity, right? We have so many identities nowadays. We kind of settle and accept the story that is given to us on who we are and believe that this is who we are meant and fated to be for the rest of our lives. This is my personality. This is who I am. And this in many ways limits us, because human beings are not meant to be one way for the rest of our lives. Even if you look at it biologically, every single day when you learn something, you have neurological changes, actual biological changes in your brain are happening every time you learn something. Every night when you go to bed, you're actually biologically a different person than you were when you woke up. And so identities are not very realistic. We're supposed to be changing throughout our entire lives. And he had a pretty cool quote. Let me see if I can find it. Yeah, here we go. David Hume. So his quote goes, "We are nothing but a bundle or collection of different perceptions which succeed each other with an inconceivable rapidity and are in perpetual flux and movement." I just thought that was really cool, because it is true. That's kind of what forms us, our subconscious beliefs, our subconscious perceptions and perspectives. And it is constantly changing, whether you want it to change or not. Whether you are taking control of that change or you're letting outside influences control the change for you, you are changing. And I have to say, if you're going to change no matter what, you might as well try to control the aspects that you can to make sure you're changing in the positive direction. So we got first super chat here from Pat Leo. Pat Leo, you got a cool name there. Thank you. Pat Leo donated a £5 donation. Appreciate the support. Hope this brings back some good luck after what happened. Awesome. So what was it? I said it was like £1,000 fine. We got £5 down. Now we got 995 pounds to go. Thank you very much. Okay. We got another super chat here again. Sean's Allotment Garden and Homestead. I'm learning about gut health and lifting and depression. Any views or medical insights? So this is a great place to be looking and focusing on. Our gut health is actually becoming more and more so associated with so many aspects of health, not just physical or health in terms of our cardiovascular disease, high blood pressure, allergies, all that kind of stuff, but even things like depression, even things like mental health outcomes are affected by your gut microbiome, by your gut health essentially. So yes, I think that is a really good thing. I think if you're trying to perfect your gut flora, things to think about are, of course, the probiotics or the good bacteria. You can get them through eating fermented foods, or you can even get probiotics. But the important thing is that you have to eat the right foods that are going to support the growth of those healthy bacteria. So if you're taking probiotics, or if you're taking, whether that be some healthy fermented foods every now and then, or some pills with the bacteria that you want, and then you're eating nothing but junk food and meat and dairy and all that kind of stuff, then that's not going to support the growth of those bacteria. So you're not going to actually benefit from those bacterial strains. So in other words, it's important that you have the bacteria, the probiotics, but also the prebiotics, the food for the bacteria. And the main food there is going to be the fiber that comes from a lot of the healthy whole grains, fruits, vegetables, legumes, etc. And actually, a funny thing as well, that a lot of natural foods in nature, such as fruits and vegetables, have a little bit of a natural coating, if you will, with bacteria, with their own natural microbiome, because bacteria are everywhere. And it's something I say when I was in medical school. You learn about this, whether you're talking about surfaces, but even on your body, your skin, your fingers, your face, there's bacteria everywhere. And actually, a lot of foods in nature will have bacteria on them too. And it just so happens the healthier foods out in nature usually have the healthy bacteria that we're supposed to be getting into our guts, into our digestive system, into our gastrointestinal tract. So yeah, that's very important. And then avoiding things like junk foods, sugar, all that kind of stuff would be very highly recommended. Appreciate the super chat. It was really great, interesting question to go over as well. Let's see. We got some. Do maybe one free question before I go into the next super chat. Okay. We've got someone asking, what's your opinion on Sverige drinking his girlfriend's breast milk and the beef? Oh man, I didn't actually want to think about that, but now I'm forced to. I didn't even know. I've never watched this guy's videos. I know he's some kind of a carnivore guy, and he goes by the name of Sverige. Yeah, Swedish people are crazy. What can I say? Just kidding, guys. I love you if you're from Sweden. Actually, I don't even know if he is Swedish, but anyways, I don't think it's worth thinking about. I think it's worth forgetting about and moving on with our lives. Okay, let's see. Super chat from Sergio Ramos, one of the best soccer players in the world. Why do carnitards claim grains ruin your teeth? So, carnitards. Let's be nice to them. Let's say the confused, lion wannabes, the ones who didn't quite understand that human beings are not supposed to eat nothing but meat. They are confused, and they're confused, and they need our help to get back into the light. So they claim a lot of things. I'm not sure if that's kind of a thing that every one of them claims, that the grains ruin your teeth, but I don't know. I think when it comes to the carnivore movement, it's for me the perception, or the what do you call it in English? What's the word? The impression, right? The impression that I get from the carnivore movement is that it isn't really so much that they just love meat and they want to eat nothing but meat. It's almost like it's more of an anti-vegan. Like, these people hate veganism so much, they're so emotionally hurt by veganism, that a lot of them just seem to want to do absolutely everything as opposite as possible to veganism. So it's like, oh, what? You don't eat any animal products? Well, you know what? I'm gonna eat nothing but animal products. That will show you. So I don't know. I feel like it's the whole carnivore movement is just like a bunch of really emotionally uneducated rambling trolls, and they're just, they bring a lot of claims out of the blue. It's all based on stories and anecdotes, and people saying that they went vegan for a week and got depressed, or their child went on a vegan diet and for 5 days and became mentally disabled or something. I don't know. They come up with all sorts of crazy stories. So the important thing again is just to remember not to believe in everything you hear. Stick to the hierarchy of evidence. Internet trolls are not a reliable source of evidence. Not even the internet trolls that eat nothing but meat, especially not the internet trolls who eat nothing but meat. So yeah, that would be my insight on that. Thank you for the super chat, Sergio Ramos. Appreciate that. We got Jess B asking, how tall are you? I'm 194 centimeters. I think that is 6'4" in American, British, Australian. Does Australia do feet in inches, or do you do centimeters? I'm not sure. I know Canada does centimeters, I think. Or is it? No, I think Canada does kilos, but then like inches and feet. I'm not sure. I get confused. Everyone here in Europe does centimeters and kilograms. So, but yeah, 6'4", 194 centimeters. Okay, here we got naturally fit and healthy. How are you currently practicing medicine? How are you encouraging healthy diet to your patients? I get this question a lot. I'm actually not practicing medicine. I decided a long time ago this was not the path for myself. I graduated from medical school about a year ago, and I have gone my own less than traditional path to teach people lifestyle, to teach people prevention, rather than working in a hospital. It just didn't feel like the right place for me. So no, I am not practicing in the clinic or in a hospital, but I have nothing but respect for the people who choose to pursue that path. Okay, we got Cassandra Cuellar. I'm not sure how to pronounce your last name. I apologize for that, but Cassandra, that's pretty easy. We'll just stick with Cassandra. Cassandra donated $5. Thank you for your donation, and asks, do or will you host your own podcast? So I love talking. Maybe sometimes I talk too much. Bloviate, as I learned the other day, this word. And I love talking to other people. I love meeting other people. I love hearing other people's stories and connecting with people, and really just learning from other people's experience, and just learning what it means to be a human being in this complex and confusing world. And I think, podcasts, I've always enjoyed doing them, and joining podcasts. I just did one yesterday, the lovely, lovely girl from Germany, and I did one last week. So I'm doing podcasts all the time. I really enjoy them. So I guess to answer your question, I probably wouldn't mind doing my own podcast. It's just right now I just have so many things going on at once. I need to start actually, prioritizing a few things rather than having to, stretching myself too thin. Otherwise, I feel I won't be able to give any of the things I'm doing the full effort, and to be fair or do fair by or do justice. I want to do the projects I'm doing now justice, rather than trying to do too many things at once and stretching myself too thin. So I won't say never. I could perhaps do a podcast in the future. Right now, I'm going to be focusing more on YouTube, Instagram, that kind of stuff, and see what the future holds. I'm always open for new things. I never try to plan too rigidly. I always want to be free to maneuver and change as time goes. So who knows? I might do a podcast. You'll definitely see me in podcasts though, because I definitely love doing them. But yeah, that's an interesting thought. Thank you for that question, Cassandra. Appreciate the donation. Okay. What is your wingspan? I don't know. Usually when I fly, I don't bring my little measuring tape, so I'm not sure. Let's see. Okay, I'm just gonna skip all the way down and see if we got any more cool questions here. Got Goodlog is in the house. Goodlog, how are you doing? Good job on finishing your exam. By the way, for those of you who don't know, Goodlog just did an anatomy exam, I think, in Iceland. She's studying, so well done. I remember those days, not the easiest. Okay, let's see if we got some questions here. Vegan diet for psychosis. So psychosis is a complex one. Again, I think we oversimplify so much of medicine where we think, okay, this one thing, this one intervention, this one food, this one pill, this one surgery is going to fix this really complex issue. Psychosis is not something that can be fixed by, one type of food or one type of pill or anything like that. Though I can say that there are studies supporting the fruit and vegetable intake with, high or higher markers of mood. So better mood in people who, and actually they were trying to control for reverse causation, right? That happier people try to eat healthier, but actually measuring even in the days after eating. So taking away the causation aspect, it's not that you're happier and then you're eating, but even looking at days after eating healthy, there was a significant association between fruit and vegetable consumption and markers of good mood. But no, psychosis, again, there's so many causes to psychosis. It can be drug induced, it can be, a really, like, it can be a schizophrenia or, a manic episode you can get psychotic with. So it can be it can be so many different things, right? So psychosis is not something that can, number one, be ascribed to the one cause for everyone, and it cannot be prescribed one solution for everyone either. Anyways, that was an interesting question. Never been asked that before. Actually, on that note, let's ask some interesting questions. Let's ask whatever questions you guys want. Let's get creative. Let's ask something that you guys, even uncomfortable questions, or comfortable, extremely comfortable. Any questions you want, but let's get creative. I think it's fun when we get questions that we haven't all heard a lot of times before. So feel free to leave a super creative question, especially if you put on the super chat. I will answer no matter what. Anyways, we got Aaron Goldberg. Leo Venus, is beta-alanine safe? So beta-alanine, I guess, is one of the supplements that is probably one of the more popular ones. I never really take it. I think, for me, the only sports supplements I ever take is protein powder and creatine. Just because protein powder is not it's not a necessity. It's just convenient if you're trying to become a bulky soy boy, but it's not necessary at all for health. And you can do it through food as well. It's just more, it's more easy to just have this little powder thrown into the smoothie done, right? When it comes to beta-alanine, they claim, again, the supplement industry is very big on marketing claims. There's not a lot of studies on a lot of these supplements, a lot of these products. So I wouldn't be too confident that it actually does a huge amount of things for most people who take it, but they claim to help with some, recovery and stuff like that. So I wouldn't. I don't take it. I definitely don't think it's definitely is not necessary for health, and I'm not sure if there is enough evidence to suggest that it's really that beneficial for sports either. But some people still take it. So up to everyone to decide. But yeah, I think it's, for most people it would be relatively safe for sure. I mean, there is quite a bit of research having been done from a safety point of view, at least. Okay, we got no more super chats. You guys, if you want your answer, I always do this. I thought today was going to finally be the day. I was going through an entire live without saying this, that the answer, if you want your answer question, but I did it again. So, oops, I did it again. No, what I was going to say is, if you want your question answered, make sure to leave a super chat. It's the little $sign next to the comment thing. You can donate as little as you want, but that will at least highlight the question so I see it and I will answer it then. Okay, but we got some more questions here. I'll try to do a few of these regular peasant questions. Just kidding. I love you guys, whether you're a peasant or not. Money can't buy friendship. We all know that. Meal frequency or consistent energy? Naturally fit and healthy asks, meal frequency or consistent energy? So I'm not really sure what you're asking. If you think, frequent meals are better or not. I think this actually goes. There was actually an interesting study done on people doing Ramadan that showed huge benefits for fasting in terms of, it was actually a pretty new one. I think it was in the Annals of Internal Medicine, that journal that published it. and they were showing, quite a few markers got improved through, DNA repair, cytoskeleton structure, all this kind of stuff through the period of 30-day fasting that these people were going through. So there's a lot of evidence that fasting can be a very good thing from a health point of view. So yeah, if you want to, increase your lifespan and increase some of your markers of health, fasting is definitely a useful tool. If you're trying to gain a lot of weight, then probably you want to increase the frequency of food. Obviously, the more times you're eating, the easier it will be for you to increase the calories, increase the protein, increase all that kind of stuff. So it depends what you're looking for. Okay. Roger99 asks, Dr. Leo Venus, what do you think about what's happening in Brazil with the virus? Do you have any relatives there? Yeah, I do. I have actually a grandmother who is over 90, so I'm a little bit worried about her. But, they're being very, very careful in terms of not being very in close contact with the outside world, which is, sad. It's it's really not a good situation to be in, regardless, just from the mental health point of things. It's not nice to be in full lockdown all the time. But yeah, it's a really strange time. It's a strange time of fear and confusion and of conflict and judgment, and people are just pointing fingers and being so angry and so scared. Fear is so destructive, and it causes so many problems. And I think in Brazil, unfortunately, there is still, there's a huge amount of people who are, not haven't reached the highest level of education and aren't very scientifically, they haven't been scientifically taught the principles of evidence-based thinking and all this kind of stuff. So there's a lot of people there that have the conspiracy theories, right, who don't believe the virus is real, etc. But most of all, my heart just goes out to the people who are suffering with it. There's a lot of, there's a lot of problems going on there, but not only in Brazil. There's a lot of places that are struggling with the pandemic. So, just gotta stay together. We gotta help each other. We gotta be, understanding and forgiving, and try to have patience with each other. This is a difficult time, but it is temporary. We're not going to be stuck in this situation forever. So yeah, all I'll say is stay strong, people from all over the world. Heart goes out to you, and we'll get through this. Okay, we got ABCDEFG HIJKLMNOP. Nice username there. If anybody wants to practice the alphabet, or at least 2/3 of it. Is it 2/3? I think it's about 2/3. Is that 24 or 27 letters in the alphabet? I know here in Norway we have 3 extra letters. We have A, Ö, O, the A with the E attached to it, and then you have the O, or the Ö. Actually, first is the circle with a dash, and then you have the O, which is the A with the circle on top, which, by the way, is my real name, has that letter. And way back in the day, John decided to make it more international. He would make it into the Venus, and yeah. And then we all went to Venus. We went with the Venus family. And now, maybe I need to change my name. Anyways, ABCDEFGHIJKLMP donates $5. Thanks so much for your donation. And asks, what do you think about the quality of Costco's soy milk? I don't shop at Costco's. I don't even live in the US. I'm assuming, is this an American store? I'm not even sure. But I guess, as much as I appreciate your super chat, I can't really comment too much on that unless I have to read into it. But I would say, look at the ingredients list. Whenever I'm looking at milk alternatives, I really want to find the ones that don't have, added sugar and added oils. I try to stick to the ones that are as natural as possible. But apart from that, when it comes to soy, a lot of people worry about the estrogen effect, etc. They worry about with the the man boobs or the defeminizing effects for men, or women think that it's going to affect their periods negatively or increase the chance of breast cancer, etc. But the most evidence that is out there suggests that it actually improves male fertility, it decreases the chances of prostate cancer, it decreases the chances of breast and endometrial cancer in women, and it does not cause man boobs. It only causes firm soy boobs, especially if you go to the gym right after your soy milk. Anyways, appreciate your super chat. Okay, it's already 8 o'clock, 8 p.m. here in Norway, so I'm going to be going to the gym very, very soon. So if you guys have some last few questions, leave them in the super chat. Let's have some fun. Let's get creative. Let's go crazy. Let's go crazy here. Let's have some fun in the last few minutes. Okay, we got Jonathan Campbell, donated $2. Thank you for your donation. Have you looked into ashwagandha or other adaptogens? I've heard of them. I've heard of a lot of people talking about them. I actually haven't done too much research on that. That could be an interesting video topic for one day, though. Yeah, I think, again, there's a mix. If you're going to look into it, don't look at the claims of people, of what they say, how the miracle cures or whatever. Look at the evidence, look at the science. And so if I do make a video on it, I'll definitely be scouring the literature for any studies done on ashwagandha or other adaptogens. Well, there are quite a few. There are quite a few studies on them. There's a lot of phytochemicals. There's a lot of micronutrients and a lot of things that are not that well understood that actually are very, very potent. A lot of traditional medicine, a lot of alternative medicine, which, again, you have to be careful with if it's not coming from an evidence-based point of view. But a lot of these things that were traditionally used, and people will, always criticize, it doesn't do anything. That's just the woo-woo alternative stuff. But, a lot of this stuff is actually getting studied more and more. And surprisingly, some of these natural substances are being found to have really, really potent effects. Things like ginger and turmeric can beat out a lot of actually medications in certain areas. So there is definitely power in nature, and there is power in plants, and a lot of medications actually stem from nature. Even things like aspirin, a lot of tribes and stuff back in the day used to use really potent chemicals and substances from nature in their own kind of trial and error derived medical practices as well. So really interesting stuff there for sure. Okay, let's see if we can get some last few interesting questions in before I head to the gym. Today's going to be back and biceps. We're going to work on that wingspan, as somebody mentioned earlier. Okay, let's see. We got Allison Stewart donated $2 Canadian. Thank you for your donation. And Allison Stewart asked, thoughts on wait a second. I have to actually concentrate to read this word. Thoughts on psilocybin mushrooms. Man, you guys are asking me all of the weird questions today, huh? The magic mushrooms. Actually, I don't even know. Is that what psilocybin mushrooms are? Let's see. Psilocybin mushrooms. Let's find out what this are. Is this what I think it is? Also known as magic mushroom, yeah. Okay. Well, what was the question? Just what are my thoughts? Just generally, what is my thoughts on magic mushrooms? Well, my thoughts are they are real. They exist. You can Google it. It'll say magic mushrooms. Take that. Anyone who said magic didn't exist, boom! Magic does exist. Look at magic mushroom. No, actually, that's a bad joke. If you mean by my opinion, do I recommend taking it? Not really. I mean, anything that has really strong chemical effects in your body probably has some negative side effects that you don't want to be too playful with. I'm not a big fan of playing with the body's natural intrinsic systems. I think life already is so enjoyable. It is so great to and there's so many things to really enjoy in this experience that I don't find the need to alter it. I think that altering it seems like almost a bit of a dangerous road to start flirting with, because I guess it's just the human nature. Once you experience something that is so beyond what is naturally supposed to be there for you, you break through that cap and you go through past that limit, and you start experiencing things that are just on a whole different level, then perhaps going back to the things that naturally are supposed to be good, and supposed to do it for you, right? It seems boring to you afterwards. So I'm very careful when it comes to any psychedelics or any type of substances in general, even the more natural, quote unquote, or the least extreme ones. But yeah, it's not it's not something that I would. I have never tried it, and I don't think I will ever try it. Even though I understand magic mushrooms is something that's been used for a long time. And there's many different ones, so I'm sure some of them are better or worse than others. But yeah, I hope that answers your questions. I guess this was kind of one of those different questions. Thoughts on magic mushrooms? Appreciate the question. Let's see. We got, okay, let's say 7 more minutes. Last 7 minutes. Let's see if we get some really creative, really fun questions here before I go and hit the gym. Are gyms open in Norway? Yes, gyms are open in Norway. They just opened last week, and actually bars are open here as well. So I might actually be, oh, maybe I shouldn't say this again. It sucks if you're in a place that you can't go out, and I'm just here, oh yeah, I'm going to the gym, and then I'm going to the bar, I'm going to have fun. So I didn't mean to rub it in anyone's face, but yeah, Norway, we are very lucky that we've had almost no cases for the last month anywhere, and it's very, very safe. So there's still a few precautions, in different really big public places, but I'm lucky enough that where I am, things are basically as normal. People are pretty, it's been very, very well controlled here, as opposed to in Sverige or Sweden. It's a little bit more out of control. But yeah, so gyms are open. Oh, we got a super chat from Sergio Ramos. Thank you. Sergio Ramos donates $2 and asks, is it difficult to become a citizen of Norway? I'm actually not too sure. This is not something I've looked into too much because obviously I was born here, so I've always been Norwegian. But of course, there are people who have done it. Perhaps, I don't know. Let's look it up. How long you have to live in Norway before you can get the citizenship? Norway citizenship by marriage. Okay, so you can get a citizenship by marriage. Okay. You must be over the age of 12. You must be permanently resident in Norway when you apply, and you must have clarified your identity. You must have presented a passport. What else do we have here? I feel like my whole social media lately has been like a Norway kind of advertisement. Come visit Norway. Requirements. Okay, what are the requirements? Yeah, that's an interesting question. Well, you can apply here at least. Citizenship, okay. Oh, actually, it's just asking me to fill this in. Well, I'll check this out later. But yeah, I think it's not too. I don't think it's any more difficult than other countries. So, I mean, if you're willing to live here permanently and work here, eventually you can become a citizen here as well. It's probably a lot easier if you're from Europe because Europe has free travel. If you're from Europe, you can live basically wherever you want within Europe. So it's not a big deal. If you're coming from outside of Europe, it might be a little bit more tricky, but there's tons of people here. So if you really want to make it work, you can make it work. There's people here from everywhere around the world. So it's not impossible, but it is a strange concept if you guys think about it. I mean, just thinking about the fact that a lot of people here, or a lot of people in the world, can't actually roam and walk and go where they want. It's such a strange concept when you think about we're the only animals who cannot, we're not allowed to just walk around. I mean, like sure, some animals are territorial and they might get into fights or whatever. But here, you actually, if you cross an imaginary, invisible border, people can come and be like, no, you are not allowed to be here, and get you, like take you away. Whereas, like in nature, that doesn't exist. It's like it is such strange, man-made concepts that we have created. But there's so many of these concepts in society that were created through our collective imagination, as Yuval Noah Harari puts it in his book, Sapiens. Anyways, that's a great book if you guys are thinking about getting a book. Sapiens, Yuval Noah Harari. Really, really great book. Okay, we got a couple super chats here. Let's go through them. Got a few more minutes. Okay, I'm going to do a couple more questions, and then we're going to end things up here pretty quickly. So We got Jesper Bergesen. Yeah, Jesper Bergesen. So that's, I'm guessing Norwegian. Yeah. Har du mange vegane venner I Norge? Jeg har ingen. So basically the question is, do you have many vegan friends in Norway? I don't have any. Do not fret, Jesper. When I went vegan in Norway, I didn't know any vegans whatsoever. I had no vegan friends, but they are around. And the proof is just looking at how much vegan products are all over every grocery store. You can find a lot of vegan stuff now here in Norway. And since I came to Bergen, actually, I've met at least three or four people randomly on the street who just stopped me and told me they were vegan. Obviously, it's a bit easier if you're being recognized or if you're known in a community. Like I have a YouTube channel within the vegan community, etc. But even if you're not, a lot of cities, it depends if you're in the city or in a small rural town, but in most cities they have, vegan meetups, vegan events, so you can go and actually meet vegans in your area as well. And I would definitely recommend. I actually went the first few years without doing any of this stuff, and I kind of regret it afterwards because I've made a lot of good friends in these events. It's also important not to solely, just limit yourself to only interacting with vegan people. You also want to have friends who aren't vegan. You also want to interact with other people. We don't want to isolate ourselves, but every now and then it is really cool to, connect with a little bit, people who are awakened and connected and interested in the same directions as you are. So I'd recommend checking that out. Thank you so much for your donation. I really appreciate your support. Next one, we got Jonathan Campbell donated $2. Have you ever played or heard of disc golf? No, I have not ever heard of disc golf. First, I read disco golf. That could have been interesting if you're like in a disco party and you're like playing golf, but that's probably like very dangerous because most people probably are not at their peak performance up here when they are in a disco party. So actually, let's scratch that. Let's not talk about the disco party or disco golf. Disc golf. Ooh, I think I know what you're talking about. It's like from the frisbee one. You throw the frisbee and there's like a net and it catches it. I think that's what you're talking about. I've seen it around. I've never tried it. I've never really been much of a disco person, but I'm sure it can be fun. But yeah, to answer your question, no, I've never played disc golf. Okay, I think, we got one more super chat here from Paulo. Paulo donated 5 British pounds. Thank you for your donation. Appreciate it. What's something you have learned about yourself or others from this COVID lockdown experience? Something I've learned from myself or others. Well, I mean, it's definitely, there's quite a few lessons that have been, maybe have been fortified, things that have been kind of re-emphasized in my life in terms of the importance of staying connected with other people, the importance of socializing with people, in terms of our mental health, in terms of going for walks, staying in touch with nature, all this kind of stuff. But also a lot about human nature, the human nature of emotions, the human nature of how media really does dictate a lot of what we think. I mean, the COVID pandemic, you have people acting as if it's the end of the world, and sure, it is a very serious pandemic. It is something that has to be taken seriously, and something that unfortunately we're going to see more and more of in the future unless we start changing the way we use animals in industry. But it's not stuff to panic. I mean, when you see people fighting over toilet paper rolls in the stores, it's like, what, sure, those are the exceptions, but to a lesser degree, people are completely freaking out. It's just a lot of panic, and there's a lot of one of the things I noticed in Canada is when I was there in Toronto is that some people who I hadn't talked to in a long time started messaging me. And because I was walking around, like I was walking around the city and stuff like that, you'd have people who really kind of, again, re-emphasize this mentality, this mindset that I haven't really kind of reflected on too much lately, which is the kind of the us, the me, the us, the our place, the identity mindset, not only to your own identity, but the identity of your city, your country. And basically what happened is some people who I knew who were from there, just completely out of nowhere, just super, super emotional, being, like, how dare you come to to my country and putting my people in danger by walking around, and you're not welcome in my city and all this kind of stuff. And I was like, wow, this is some really this is some really kind of strong, primitive, emotional things that are coming out here. And so there's been a lot of kind of interesting kind of psychological and social things have come out of it. And it's kind of a lot of things that I already was aware of have been brought to the surface a lot more than usual. And so it's very interesting. It's very interesting. And unfortunately, like I said, I think a lot of us are too quick to forget. And there might be a lot more pandemics like this in the future, but I hope not. I hope we can actually be a bit more proactive from now on, but we'll see. We'll see. From what I heard, they're already opening up wet shops back in China and stuff like that. So we'll see. Most big pandemics have been connected to the way we use animals in agriculture and industry. So we'll see what happens. I might do a video series on pandemics in the future. It's interesting subject. But thanks so much for the question. Appreciate the donation. And I also saw Cassandra donated another $3 and did a little cat. Is that a cat or a dog? A cat or a dog doing some sort of a little cute dance emoji. Thank you for your donation, Cassandra. I really appreciate it. Okay, so I think we're gonna end it there. Maybe we'll just do you know what? We're gonna do the last 6 or 7 questions here. Okay, we're gonna go from Vegan Jerry down. Okay, Vegan Jerry, why were you living in Allen? I actually did high school, Allen, Texas. Allen High School was a huge school of 5,000 kids. My class had over 1,000 people. We had a huge American football team, which I didn't play in, and it was a cool experience. That was very different from anything for me than I've lived before. Okay, that was that. And then we got story time. Have you officially changed your name to Venus, or is it just a nom de plume for your online? Okay, it's just a plum name. Okay, we got Soy Kazi. Soy Kazi, what is he saying? I am saying lots of stuff. We got Zach Calvin, I don't know. We got Gigolo Jugs at Dr. Leo Venus. What do you think of Wim Hof method, Leo? So I might actually do a video on this. I mean, he claims to be very scientific. I haven't actually looked at the science, so I can't really give an opinion. But some of the stuff he says sounds almost a little bit extreme or sensationalistic. But there are definitely cases, and there is science supporting that there is a lot of potential to modulate our inner environments through outside external sources, through psychology, through exposure to cold and stuff like that. So I'm sure there is some cool aspects and some cool mechanisms going on, some cool dynamics to study. But again, I haven't really looked into in depth, so I can't really give a very in-depth opinion here. Okay. Us Canadians are so terrible, don't come here. That was Zach Calvin. No, I think Canadians are actually great. I really liked Canada when I was there. Okay, we got survival of the survival of the bitches. I like that name. Ironman training. No, I don't plan on doing anything very endurance based. I've become a heavy soy boy now. Dumbledore. Wait, when were you in Toronto and why? I was there in early 2020, so February, March period. And the reason was I was visiting friends and I was kind of in the middle of traveling all over the place, and I probably would have continued traveling if it wasn't for the pandemic. Naturally fit and healthy. Tips on staying zen. Sleep. Yeah, sleep is good. Meditation is good. Relaxation is good. Exercise is good. Being outside in nature is good. Socializing is good. A lot of stuff is good. You just gotta make sure you incorporate those consistently. We got do that. Will you do some videos on what you eat? Yes, I will be pumping out a lot more videos in the future. I'm actually talking to quite a few people who are going to help me with pumping out and churning out more content for you guys. So stuff is going to be coming out soon, and I'm looking forward to it. And I think that's it. Yeah, okay. No, it's not. I went down and there's like 50 more questions. So we're just going to end it there because you guys are too fast for me. This slow soy boy can't keep up. But I appreciate all. Oh man, I have to run to the gym now. I'm going to meet up a friend in 13 minutes. Well, the gym is like 5 minutes away, so it'll be fine. But appreciate everyone who came to this live stream. I will be doing, probably like I said, on Sunday, we'll be doing a live stream with Michelle Lowe, who has a PhD in social psychology. So I'm really looking forward to that. It's going to be fun to talk a little bit about different aspects of psychology in relation to activism and things that we can learn. I think this is going to be a great opportunity for us to learn because, if we're trying to change people's behavior, if we're trying to change people's beliefs, we're trying to essentially have an impact on people's minds. And how are we going to effectively change people's minds if we don't understand people's minds? So psychology is going to be very, very important in the vegan movement, 100% for sure. So I'm really happy that we might make that conversation work on Sunday. So I'm looking forward to that. Oh, we got Paul Hensher. We got Plant-Based News. Robbie here. Awesome. Hope you guys are doing well. And one last thing, like I always say, these live streams are always going to be posted on my Patreon. You can join it for a minimum of $2 a month. There's some exclusive perks and bonuses. We do live hangouts, do some exclusive content over there. And it's a nice way for you to support my content if you appreciate any of the content that I put out for free here or on Instagram. So if that feels like or sounds like it is something that interests you, just search me, Dr. Lou Venus, on Patreon. Other than that, again, thanks so much for joining. Thank you for all the awesome questions. And I'll probably be doing another live stream either tomorrow or next week. We'll see. Anyways, take care, everyone. Keep being awesome. Keep the love and compassion. Stay evidence-based. Go plant-based. And I'll talk to you soon.